Is it worth rejecting a settlement agreement and going to the tribunal instead? In my experience, the answer is almost always no. Here's why.
Sometimes I've had people say they want a really high amount of money because they suffered a lot of problems at work, detriments, as we may be familiar with, which are issues at work, which are consequences of action that has been happening at work or incidents that have happened at work. The other reason to go to a direct access barrister is usually that they can tell you from a court perspective what is likely to win and what is not likely to win. So, for example, I've checked many settlement agreements and people have told me stories around why the settlement agreement has come about. So that could be because they've had a grievance with their employer, which has gone on for a number of months. And the problem they face now is the employer wants the grievance dealt with, and they cannot see an end to this relationship. And the settlement agreement has come about because of that. Now, sometimes what's happened is people have come to me and said they've had a number of grievances going on at work, or they've had one grievance, or there's a disciplinary going on, or something's happening at work which is not very pleasant. They think they will be able to win £100,000 or even £500,000 at the employment tribunal. That will not happen.
Unless there is absolutely strong evidence to support the allegations you are making.
Sometimes people say to me they're not sure whether they should take the agreement because there are too many issues that have happened at work, and they want compensation for all of these different things, and all they're being offered is, for example, £5,000 or £12,000. But then I have to remind them to get to the employment tribunal may actually cost them the same amount, if not more, and not until a couple of years or even more down the line. So a settlement agreement closes off this relationship of hostility quite early on. And in my view, they are a very, very good way of ending a relationship, to help you emotionally as well to move on from something which can be quite a traumatic experience at the workplace. One thing I must say is that settlement agreements, as much as they are painful sometimes because people do not want to leave their job, in the long run, I've had feedback from many of my clients after they've had a settlement agreement a year later, 2 years later, 3 years later, or some have come back to me and instructed me again. And 9 times out of 10, they have said to me, "Thank you for advice. We're really grateful that you directed us to take the settlement agreement, because it was not only a good package, but also enabled us to explore new opportunities and go into different working environments, which were so much better." So do not please overlook a settlement agreement, because they are a really, really good option. If a settlement agreement has become a point of discussion for you, and if you are an employee or an employer, please come and talk to me in the free 15-minute sessions. You can self-book these on my website, www.thedirectaccessbarrister.com. I am Haresh Sood, and this is Pancho.